all the way across and are now, like I said, breezing past Canada now into the Atlantic Ocean. It's been fantastic to track this. And if I turn on the shadow of our penumbra, you can see this highlighted area. Anywhere in there is still experiencing a partial eclipse. So if you're in that partial eclipse area, be sure to have your eclipse glasses at the ready so you can take in that fleeting moment. We just went outside a few moments ago here at Kennedy Space Center to take it in. It's fantastic, beautiful view. It's really cool to see. You got like a little chunk out of the sun there for us here, only about 50% coverage, but still fantastic to see. So really, it's been phenomenal. We've lucked out in general with the weather all of today too. That was the biggest concern I had going into the day here. It's been beautiful views up and down here, and so really fantastic to see this. Really been a lot of fun tracking this with our Eclipse Explorer. A big thanks again to our scientific vision.
26%, Team Sun 26% as well, but Team Moon 48%. Important interview.
Everybody's here enjoying it. We're at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More than 50,000 of our closest friends have gathered to watch this total eclipse of the heartland. I'll be with you for the next hour and a half. I'm Tony DeCone. And disorientating experience, short of taking an illegal substance, that's possible. What is it, Bill, about it?
I would say maybe short of childbirth for a father. When I saw it for the first time, I thought I knew what I would see. You know, just another partial eclipse like I've seen in the past. It is nothing like that, Tony. It's otherworldly is my best way to describe it. It made such an impression on me. I made hotel reservations years in advance to come see this one. I didn't want to miss it. If you haven't ever seen Totality, find a way to do it because it is incredible.
Oh, wow. And Doctor, what about the science of today? What are astronomers, scientists looking at to hope to learn today?
Well, this eclipse is a really unique opportunity to learn about those outer layers of the sun, the corona, and that's the part of the sun that affects us the most. It creates something called space weather, which affects our atmosphere, creates beautiful phenomena like the northern lights. And so there will actually be NASA jets chasing the eclipse quite literally along the path to study the outer layer of the sun and how it affects our planet.
I love that. You guys are going to be hanging out with us for the duration here, so we're going to have lots to talk about. But for now, I want to show off some of the cool...
As the Earth rotates around the sun and the moon rotates around the Earth, they fall into a
so that means that the world is, the world is not flat. It's round for the people who want to believe that it's flat. It's not possible.
The sun is possible because the sun is about 400 times farther away from Earth. Now, when you look at the sky, they both look about the same size. While the impact of the eclipse will be experienced across much of the country, the big show is the umbra, when the moon completely blocks the sun. That's the total eclipse. As the shadow of the moon travels across North America, we get the path of totality. It will go from Texas to Maine and will be between 108 and 122 miles wide. That's twice as wide as last time. Now, we all know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The eclipse goes from west to east because you're actually watching the moon's shadow and orbit, not the Earth's. Outside of the umbra is the penumbra, or partial shadow. And as I said, it will cover most of the U.S. The farther away from the path, the moon will cover less of the sun. If you are only 30 miles from the path, you'll get what's called deep partiality. You'll see just a sliver of the sun with the sky darkening a bit. Here in New York City, we're at 90%. And if you are in the 75% area down here, only 75% of the sun will be covered. People north of the path of totality will see the bottom of the sun covered. People to the south will see the top of the sun covered. And nobody in the U.S. will see an eclipse that covers this much of the U.S. again until 2045.
All right, Nate, thank you so much. That's a great explanation.
Total eclipse 2024.
Totality in Mazatlan, Mexico. The total eclipse happening there. You experienced it in 2017. What's it like?
To see the corona, which you cannot see unless the sun is completely blocked out. The corona is the outer atmosphere of the sun. It's millions of degrees hot. You see the details, and we're looking at this picture of the eclipse from Mazatlan right now, and you can see the corona around the edge. It's in totality, or extraordinarily close to it. it's just a remarkable sight.
Lucian, I was talking to somebody who's going to be joining us later, an amateur astronomer, who told me that part of what makes an eclipse so exciting is, unlike a sporting event where we're on different teams,